Hey, hey! By request, here's the short astrological analysis of Dahyun. So her chart is a classic splash, and I can absolutely see why she passed auditions for all three of the big three companies. That kind of broad, dynamic energy is impossible to ignore. She picks up experience from everywhere. There's this sense of no hard boundaries between her and the world. She's open to everything, but that can easily scatter her focus if she's not careful, especially early in life. That I could be anything energy can be overwhelming. Her biggest lesson is learning how to focus on what actually matters to her instead of getting sidetracked by every shiny new idea. She's naturally drawn to the esoteric, spiritual, artistic, and the psychological. She wants to give something to the world in a big, universal way. Learning how to ground that energy, if she hasn't done so yet, will have her well on her way to being absolutely unstoppable. Her sun in Gemini gives her a spark. She's quick, bright, and flexible. She's got social intuition, a mind that never stops moving, and a real gift for picking up ideas and people. Probably great with technology and great with people. She's someone who's always got a new plan and knows how to talk it into existence. Her moon in Cancer softens everything. That's the part of her that's deeply emotional, deeply connected to her family, and needs real warmth and closeness to feel safe. If she doesn't get that emotional support, she could cling to people or situations that don't actually deserve her, just to avoid feeling alone. Together, this sun-moon combination is talented, intuitive, and able to turn almost anything in her favor, as long as short-term, high-impact emotions aren't overwhelming her in the moment. She does have a temper, and she tends toward being nervous and moody, but when she's emotionally content, she flows, she creates, she connects, and she uplifts everyone else with her. If the vibe around her gets too heavy, she could shut down and disappear into her shell for a time. She's happiest when she's expressing herself and staying socially engaged. It keeps everything forward moving. Dahyun has presence. It's really hard to be indifferent to her. She exudes confidence whether or not she feels it, and she brings a sharp, quick, let's go kind of energy to everything she does. She's confrontational when needed, gutsy, assertive, and not afraid of a little heat. Though underneath it all, there's likely a part of her that's trying to prove something to herself, an inner push to validate her own strength. She moves fast, speaks faster, and thinks even faster than that. Her mind's a live wire. If she has no outlet for that energy, she either burns out or dabbles in conflict for the sake of staying stimulated. In love, she loves the chase, and chances are high that she loses interest once the thrill is gone. She needs movement, independence, and some control over how things go in order to not feel off. She can be a natural leader, especially in fast-moving spaces where adaptability and mental sharpness are key. One of her challenges is probably learning to actually listen and not just waiting for her turn to speak. Technically, this isn't a full grand cross. Because the lunar nodes are mathematical points, not planets, it's more like a supercharged opposition, but that to me makes it even more compelling and deep. This setup means Dahyun is tasked with integrating opposing forces in her life in a really big karmic way. She'll keep running into roadblocks until she figures out how to balance these energies, but once she does, she could master them in a way that becomes core to her everyday life and her spiritual evolution. She might feel like every part of her life is pulling her in different directions. Her identity, her drive, her purpose, and her beliefs all want different things at the same time. It's dynamic and powerful, but it can also feel like a lot. Her mind moves fast, her desires shift constantly, and staying focused on one path might feel nearly impossible. She needs mental stimulation, variety, and emotional breathing room, but at the same time, Pluto's placement in Sagittarius is demanding transformation. There's an inner war here between her Gemini need to keep things light and flexible and her Pluto-driven call to go deep, get intense, and transform through fire. Conflict with authority figures or power struggles with people who challenge her beliefs will keep showing up until she learns to stand her ground without trying to dominate, manipulate, or disappear. She can either stay surface level or dig in and evolve, and if she remains in between, life will continue to present scenarios that pressure her into choosing evolving. Crises might be what wake her up. Moments that feel like everything's crashing down, but that actually clears the path for her to grow into something more authentic. And through that process, she becomes magnetic, powerful, and potentially unstoppable. Her drive is unmatched, but being mindful about how it's channeled is really key for her. The nodes in Virgo and Pisces set the tone for how she evolves. She's moving away from emotional escapism and toward grounded, precise, practical mastery. She's here to learn how to make her vision real, to stop floating in potential and actually do something with it. Discipline, structure, boundaries, service, these are the keys to resolving the tension in her chart. The Virgo North Node is asking her to stop drifting in this lifetime and to start directing, to use her brilliant, chaotic mind in service of something tangible and meaningful. So we're analyzing the natal chart of someone who doesn't just dream, she executes her dreams with flair. The Sun and Mars trining Neptune denote an imagination synced with actions cleanly. Her thoughts are fast, her words are captivating. She could probably explain quantum theory to a toddler and make it somehow land. With Mars in Gemini trine Neptune in Aquarius, she's got visionary energy that's clever, sparkling, and a bit intoxicating, especially when she's creating, writing, or performing. There's so much integrity. What you see is what you get, and it's consistently interesting. Really good conversation, and the sense that she's building towards something bigger helps her feel close to people. She acts on instinct, and she's inspired by ideals, but she has to be careful not to chase the next perfect idea before finishing the first one. Emotional intimacy might confuse her, but intellectual intimacy, that's her love language. This is not someone you follow. This is someone you try to keep up with. This is how she loves, how she wants to be loved, and how she moves, desires, and emotes physically. Venus in Aries and Mars in Gemini is a combo that flirts first, thinks later, and runs on excitement. Dahyun's love style is bold, impulsive, and unapologetically curious. She doesn't wait for someone to make the first move. She is the first move. Venus in Aries falls fast and hard, but Mars in Gemini is already halfway to the next question, the next idea, and the next thrill. This is someone who needs both mental and physical stimulation to stay engaged. If it's not fun, interesting, or even a little bit chaotic, she's probably not staying. Words have an aphrodisiac-like effect. Flirting and teasing could be like a sport to her. There's a restlessness to this combo, but it's not aimless, it's gathering intel. Every crush, fling, and spark teaches her something about herself. She leads with passion and sharpens it with wit. This isn't a quiet, dreamy kind of romantic. This is someone who makes someone laugh, sweat, and leaves them wondering what just hit them. She's learning in this lifetime how to be both bold and discerning, to chase without scattering, and how to commit without feeling trapped. Thanks for watching.